Hi, this is Bill. This video is kind of a reaction video to Buzz's and Howard's stock investing. And I'm just curious how my portfolio is done. And while I can't give concrete answers to this, first thing I'm going to say, how many of you actually had some financial how much financial education you got when you were young? I don't think too many baby boomers got this because we lived in the land of Social Security and pensions taking care of you and buying a house, and that's all you needed to do, and that would be it. Now, after speaking for myself, my financial education came from my father, and he was like a total hard assets investor. Hated stocks. It was just all about real estate and gold, and he did really well with it. So I can't fault him. That certainly has I guess contaminated my thinking. So I really never thought too much about stocks. I mean, I know my company has invested my retirement money in stocks and stuff like that, and it's done pretty well. So. But as far as things I control, I'm generally thought more along the hard assets line. So, and I understand kind of where my father is coming from, because sort of during the peak years of his career, he mainly it was during the 70s, the stock market did not do well. In fact, my father invest his money like this. I mean, you get ready to pull your hair out for his, for the same retirement that I did, which was he had it 75% like in guaranteed income interest rate kind of thing, guaranteed annuity type thing, and like only 25% in equities, which would be a terrible way to invest money, at least really since the 1980s onward, because the stock market has done pretty well. So until I heard Howard's discussion, I guess I kind of followed Buzz's line of just kind of picking individual stocks, and so at the beginning of 2023, I opened a actually at the end of 2022, opened a Robinhood account and just started playing around with it just to see if I'd be any good at this. So I picked some stocks. I was also going into Bitcoin too, so I got that going as well. And then kind of starting to hear people talk about this. Everyone was saying, "Oh yeah, you really can't beat these index funds. So maybe that's where you should be investing your money." And anyway, I'll just show you how well my portfolio has done. It's not a tremendous amount of money, but it's educational and because I really pay a lot of attention to gains. Actually, I pay zero attention to gains. All I know is that seems to be doing well, so I was kind of happy with it. So I'll show you what my portfolio is for what that's worth. So here we go. I opened up an account at my local casino. Oh, I meant Robinhood, actually. Robinhood, and here's a stock portfolio. So I bought some Tesla, and actually the reason why I bought that, I think it had good growth potential, but what really enticed me was I was bringing money over into Robinhood, which is actually pretty slow. And the intent was to actually use that money to buy Bitcoin, which actually I should have stuck with that plan because Bitcoin's outperformed all of this stuff. But Tesla's stock dumped to like $100, and I thought, well, that seems like a buying opportunity, so I put some money into Tesla. So anyway, I've got like almost 47 shares of Tesla, and I have $7,600 invested in here, and now it's worth $15,000. Anyway, that stock is actually almost 100% more than what I paid for it, so that's been a winner. The other stock I bought was BYD, which is a Chinese automaker, which I think is a good, strong company. And anyway, here's the stats on that: 3,300 in, 59.56 valuation, as of today, June 27, 2025. And so that one's up 80.4%. And by the way, BYD even pays a dividend. Now, these next stocks I'm going to talk about mostly dividend-oriented stocks. So VTI is a real estate, they call it a REIT stock. And this one is, $1,000 is $11.95. So that one's up 19.56%. And again, these are just dividend stocks that was recommended on YouTube. NTP is a bank stock, and I remember buying this around the Silicon Valley bank fiasco. So that Valley had really stocked, and it was paying a really good dividend, like maybe 6 or 7% at the time. So anyway, 2,000 in, it's worth 31.91 now, and that one's up almost 60%. And that, by the way, includes the dividends that have been reinvested. So. There's that. Then TSLX is 6th Street Specialty Lending, and they pay like an 8 or 9% dividend. So I've got 1,000 shares of that's worth $1,400. So this is now up $423 or 42%. Okay, then the ZK Zeekr is a Chinese automaker that I think makes pretty good cars, and this I bought shortly after the IPO. So this is 1,000 shares. $1,000 in and 10.45. So that was only up about 4.52%. And so most of all of this stuff I bought between January of 2023 and say January 2024, I kind of really stopped putting too much money. I put no money, I think, in any of these, except maybe Zeekr. I think I bought that in 2024. And then Jeppy, which is the next one coming up here, I bought in 2024. But I said the focus was getting my apartment building paid off, so I really just stopped investing or buying stocks. So Jeppy is JP Morgan equity income, and this is kind of indexed to the S&P 500. And so by the time I got to here, my stock investing had matured to now start going to ETFs and index funds sort of things. So anyway, so I put $5,000 in. This actually came out of the $20,000 I had put into Robinhood early last year. That was earmarked to pay down the apartment building loan, but I actually never did pull on that money. I just paid it off from just income. So anyway, that one, including the dividend reinvestments, is $54.66, and so that one is up 9.33%. And then the last one here is Arcimoto, which I sold it. That was a total loser, but I kind of knew it probably wasn't going to do well. Anyway, I only got $150 in there, and I was selling it, got 10, so that's a 93% loss. But anyway, I don't know, I kind of liked the product. I know the product was overpriced. It probably wasn't going to do well, but hey, I mean, also the CEO was cool. He's a long-haired guy, so what could possibly go wrong? So, yeah. So anyway, you add up all the numbers. I have $21,000 invested in these stocks. Well, except for Arcimoto, because that one was sold. So now the valuation is $33,449.97, and so I'm up $12,000. That's a 58.91% return. Now, as I say, all of this stuff was bought at various different times. Mostly throughout 2023. It's a little bit 2024. So I thought, okay, let's see. Howard strongly recommends VTI, which is like a total stock index from Vanguard. And so anyway, I thought, okay, let's see how my portfolio's done, which is just total random luck and not knowing what I'm doing versus this Vanguard stock. So anyway, here's the price on the January 1st, 2023, and then June, and then December, and then current price. So it's 194, 213, 233, and today it was 303. So this looks like a 56% in return, 41% and 30.1. And so my number here, the 58, would be some kind of weighted average of these numbers. And I don't know how to really do this without more digging and research. But yeah, I mean, certainly I would certainly agree with Howard that this this is a really nice solid return with without volatility risk. So he's right. I'm not saying he's not right. I mean, he's been educated and stuff, worked in the banking business, has been successful, made a ton of money, so he knows what he's doing. And I did not know anything about this stuff in 2023. I started kind of learning a bit more about it in 2024, which is why I bought the JEPI. And then from curiosity, his one single stock pick item, he has Apple. So again, here's the 2023, here's January, June, and January 2023, 2024, and then today. So this one is at 129.93 on January 1st, and then it really pumped up to 180 at 190. Is that 192? And today's 201. So if you went in all in January, you'd be up 54%. But after June, it's more modest. I guess that's 11% and 4.4%. Well, there you go. Got to use his buzzes type strategy of mostly relying on individual stocks. It looks like I did beat VTI, but the only reason why I beat VTI was because I was good at timing the stock market, not so much the stocks I chose. I'm pretty sure that had I just dollar cost averaged steadily from 2023 to to now with the stock portfolio I've picked, VTI would be beating what I've chose. But I'm a firm believer that good stock market timing will probably beat any stock buying strategy. So that's what I believe, and I know that's not conventional wisdom. Well, I know that people rail against this, but I think stock market timing can work. I saved a $200,000 loss of my retirement funds by getting out of stocks at the end of 2021 and then going back in 2023, early 2023. So, and the other thing too is that this is not my retirement money. This is what I call emergency cash savings, and amongst that's about 25% of my portfolio, if you will, of my emergency cash savings. But here's the killer, is that another 25% of it is in Bitcoin. And that has been the best investment. I've probably invested, I know I've invested $8,500 and it's worth now about $32,000. That's been the best investment. And then the remaining 50% is in interest accounts. So yeah, as you can see that I was kind of transitioning more, like in 2024, more toward the Howard approach of going with exchange traded funds as opposed to just picking stocks. And I would recommend you probably follow his advice. I mean, he's an investment banker and that's his training, and he's good at it. He made a lot of money, so I'm certainly not purposely going against what he's suggesting. It's just that I had more of a buzz mentality in 2023 when I started playing around with these stocks. And I basically stopped doing all of this in 2024 because I really focused on getting my apartment building paid off, because that interest rate was like approaching 9%, and I thought, okay, well, this is freaking guaranteed. I'm not going to gamble on stocks to try to make more, even though it seems like at this point it has. Now, as far as selling stocks, I have really, the reason why I don't want to sell these stocks is because I'm going to have to pay taxes on it. So at this point, I'm just going to, just like with Bitcoin, I'm just going to let this ride, just see what happens. If stock market timing opportunities come up, I may buy in some more. But yeah, I think the stock market's pretty highly priced right now. So anyway, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. It helps me with my low self-esteem. And until next time, bye-bye.